Part 2, motherfuckers! Alright, so a while ago I asked you guys, what did you think about the idea of me combining Rubberband Man with Plastic Man? And I got a whole bunch of feedback from you guys, but unfortunately that feedback was almost exactly like split down the middle of, make them distinct characters and no, fuck that, fuse them. So here's my new idea that I'm going to take and smash into my idea for my second Static Shock movie. Patrick Eel O'Brien was a dumb 16-year-old kid who accidentally got his girlfriend pregnant. His girlfriend was a girl named Trisha Evans, and they had a son, the man who would grow up to become Ebon. Patrick and Trisha didn't get married, but they stuck together and eventually had a second kid, Adam Evans, a few years later. The financial burden of raising two kids eventually weighed really heavily on the family, and so Patrick, unfortunately, agreed to do one last job with his old criminal crew. And that job was to rob Simon Stagg, Dakota City's richest man, head of Stagg Industries. Unfortunately, the job went very bad. As the gang was trying to get out of there, Simon's head of security, a man named Rex Mason, chased them down and managed to catch one of them, Patrick Eel O'Brien. Patrick fought back, kicked Rex Mason off of him, which caused Rex to fly back off the edge of a railing into a vat of chemicals. Patrick leapt after him and grabbed him, but he was too heavy and both men fell in. Unfortunately, Rex Mason was vaporized on contact, and it looked like Patrick was, but Patrick's body reformed from the pool it had melted into. And that's how he gets his Plastic Man abilities. It triggered his metahuman DNA. Patrick went to prison for murder, and because he wouldn't give up the rest of his gang, he got the harshest sentence, and he has been in there since he was 20 years old. We then cut to 16 years later, and Plastic Man's son, Adam Evans, the Rubberband Man, has decided he doesn't want to live a life of crime anymore. And so he decides to go talk to his dad. Adam and his dad get to talking, and eventually it's revealed that Patrick got the exact same super abilities that his son seems to have developed in the Big Bang in Dakota City. It's genetic. And then eventually he decides he wants to help out Static, because Static is investigating the source of the Big Bang, which happens to be Simon Stagg. Working together, Static and Rubberband Man break into Stagg Industries to do some research about the source of the chemicals that created the Big Bang. But he and Static find something very interesting. They find what appears to be a man trapped in a testing chamber of some sort. They can tell that this man is in great pain, and so Static and Rubberband Man let that man out. That man is none other than Rex Mason, the security guard. His body didn't just melt into living plastic like Patrick O'Brien's did. His body broke down into their base elements, and over years, he managed to pull himself back together and become Metamorpho. But Simon Stagg didn't see this as a great return of his head of security. Simon Stagg saw this as a potential lawsuit, but more importantly, a lot of potential profit if they can figure out what this guy can do. And it's revealed that Simon Stagg has been using Rex to mass produce the gas that activates dormant metahuman genes inside of people. And so at the end of the movie, with Rex Mason freed, Plastic Man's name is cleared. They figure he served his time for the attempted robbery, and he is let out, where he decides to follow in his son's footsteps, and he tries to become a superhero alongside his son, and he takes the name Plastic Man. And then, boom! Plastic Man's relationship with Offspring that he has in the comics, that just goes to him and Rubberband Man. There you fucking... How's that one?